on this podcast.
Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty.
The one, the only Jay Shetty.
What's up, Wiz?
I'm chilling. How you?
I'm good. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, good to be here.
You walked in with this real chill energy today. I was like, it was very calming.
Yeah, I'm a super chill dude.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you do in the morning?
Smoke weed.
Every day?
Yeah.
First thing?
Well, I take my dog outside. I have a Doberman. He's a puppy, but he's a big puppy. He's like, he's 10 months now, and he wakes up pretty early. So I take him out, and then I smoke weed.
Do you ever remember a day before that was the case?
Yeah. I remember the days before that was the case.
What were those days like?
I was in school, so I would just get up and iron my clothes and, go off to school.
Yeah. Was there ever a time in your life where you tried to stop smoking, or has that ever been a goal?
Nah, I never really fell back off of it. I never had a reason to.
Yeah. What does it do for you that you feel it needs to be your first habit of the day?
For me, it just kind of gets me in a relaxing mood. I have a lot of things on my mind, like as soon as I wake up. So it's like, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. But if I smoke, I kind of chill, relax, put everything into its place. I write my goals down. I start to, make some text messages or phone calls or whatever, depending on what the situation is. So everything just starts to come into place.
Yeah. You write your goals down regularly? Is that like a regular habit, a consistent habit?
Yeah, definitely.
Walk us through what that looks like.
It's really like me kind of like just spitballing stuff, whatever it is, like short-term goals of mine, whether it be about clothing, music, family, visuals, content, just kind of like just writing the first ideas, like really short, really just to the point, nothing really crazy. I have a blackboard, so I'll sit in front of the blackboard and physically write it. Or if I'm in my car or something like that, I'll write it down in my notes, you know what I'm saying? Just to like little reminders and things like that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
How long have you had that habit for?
It goes on and off just due to like necessity, like how crazy my life is. So I feel like, I don't know how long it's been because I do it like so regularly, and then I look back and I see how much I've done and I'm like, wow, I've been doing this for a long ass freaking time.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like a second nature type of thing for me. Yeah.
What do you find is the craziest part of your life?
The craziest part of my life, I think the entertainment part is the craziest part. And I think it's because I can go from performing in front of 30,000, 40,000 people to either being in a dressing room, being in a plane, or being back in a bed all by myself. And it's like to go from like that much energy to just being all back by yourself. I think that's pretty crazy.
Walk us through what that feels like mentally. Like you just described two polar opposites, and the majority of people on the planet will never really experience those extremes. They might experience the loneliness in the room, but they won't experience the 30,000 people screaming your name, wearing your merch, whatever it may be, singing along to your music. What are you feeling in the in-betweens, in the transition of that to that?
You have to have this thing where you kind of wind down and you know what is for where. Like, you can't bring the stage home because eventually you have to, wind down and go to sleep and wake up and do it again. And you can't be, too turned off when you're on the stage because you have to bring enough energy to where somebody is way in the back and they can feel you. So it's really just like a projection of your energy and how you feel. And the majority of the times I'm in a great mood. I have great interactions with my fans and the people around stage and things like that. So it goes good. I'm in a great mood, but it's just a lot of this goes from really, really intense, and then it could just all just be shut off at 1 second. And I think that's like the craziest part to me.
Yeah, I can relate. I'd heard that before, and I can relate in a very small way comparatively, but I remember doing my first ever live show in 2019. It was at the Ace Theatre, maybe 2018, something like that, in the Ace Hotel. And it was like, I don't know, 1,500 people, 2,000 people maybe. It was my first ever show, and I remember walking off stage, jumping into the car to get driven back home, and it was just the strangest feeling. Like it's so hard to explain it. And I wasn't, you know, it wasn't like I don't do music, so I haven't got even with that experience. But I'm feeling connected with my audience. Then you get into the back of a black car. You barely know it. I didn't know anyone in the car with me. I was alone, and I'm driving home, and I just felt, I was like, wow, I don't even know how to describe the juxtaposition. And then I went on my world tour last year. We did roughly 40 cities around the world, and that was like you're in a new place every day, and now you're feeling that same thing every day. And so I know it's much smaller compared to what you've done, but to me, just getting that experience. And I remember that night, I was lucky. I came home and my wife had planned a surprise party, so all my closest friends were back in my house, and that kind of like, it was a relief. But it is a really weird feeling.
I don't think the feeling is smaller due to the crowd or whatever. I think the feeling is the feeling. It's like when you're on a roller coaster and like you get back and like you're in your bed and you still feel like you're on the roller coaster. It's like, you know what I mean? So I feel like we still have that in common, even though
I have to bring out the handy dandy pans
it's not even always 30,000 people. Sometimes it could be a
and I typically don't even use the
sometimes it could be an
pan
event with
because
some
I
kids
kind
or
of just
something
be
like that.
doing it
To
in a
where it's
rush.
like you just get really two totally
However,
different,
today is going to the
parts of life.
pan.
And they're both great. I love my normal life and I love my work life too. It's just the difference between them.
This is called
What's
a
helped you
pan for
continue to
hubby.
love them and deal with that paradox with that ease and comfort? What's really soothed your relationship with those, you know, challenging or crazy experiences that you mentioned?
I think it has a lot to do with like my relationship with my fans, because I love the people that I do music for, and they give me a really, really great response and reaction, not only to my performance, but to my music and just the appreciation that they have for it. So I appreciate
And y'all
them as
don't
well.
know that's Wiz
And it makes it
Khalifa
easier
and
because
Jay
I enjoy it
Shetty
and I love to create. I love to
podcast
be on stage.
interview.
I love to be in front of people. So it doesn't feel like I'm like doing anything out of
If
I
y'all are
just
part
want
of
the
Taylor
money
Gang,
or this is
drop
just for
some
this certain reason.
grenades
It's really,
down
really
in the
enjoyable
comment
for me.
section.
So
That's beautiful.
yeah, it's a great experience.
That's such a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, for sure.
That gratitude to your community for being there for you, for being present with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's been like your craziest fan experience or fan interaction, a memory that you have with one of the audience members that
I
stays
think the
with you?
craziest stuff is when people like come up and get me to like sign my name on them so they can get it tatted.
Wow.
Or they show me like tattoos of my face on them. I think those are the craziest interactions. Because I have tattoos, I'm covered in them. So I know how important that is. And to be, you know, just me as an artist and doing what I'm doing and to want to have people want to like tattoo me on them.
Who gonna get
That's pretty,
my face tatted on
Yeah.
them?
Have people ever done a lyric as well? Or?
Yeah, they do lyrics, they do song titles, they do pictures, they do autographs, they do all types of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your most meaningful tattoo or one that really speaks to you?
Probably, I got a couple. I got, you know, my mom's name. I got my brother's name, my sibling who passed away. I got my little sister. Yeah, probably like my family tattoos mean the most to me. The rest of them are just like stuff about life that I've learned throughout the way or things that I've called myself throughout life. Yeah.
When was your sibling who passed away?
She passed away, I think maybe 7 years ago. I don't remember exactly how many years ago. It could be more or less.
Yeah, and how old was she then?
She would have been 40 now, so she was probably 33 when she passed away.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had some life together. Like,
Oh yeah, hell yeah. We grew up together.
Yeah.
Same mom, same dad.
Yeah. How was that experience for you? Losing someone so close to you that you love?
I wouldn't say like rough, because you know you get through that type of stuff, you learn how to deal with it. But it's definitely a situation that I never would have expected. Like we weren't sick growing up or anything like that. We were always the same. So it's like when you get to a certain age, you don't plan on losing a sibling. And it was just something that we had to deal with. And, you know, as her health declined, it was something that we knew was going to happen. So it was like, all right, cool, let's get ready for it. You know what I mean? And I am grateful that I was able to have like the last moments that I had and to be able to prepare for it. And, you know, my son has memories of my sibling and things like that. And her birthday was actually on Halloween. So we celebrate every year. Annually, we throw a party. So yeah, um, it was definitely an experience, but you know, it's something that I'm still dealing with. Like, you know, like a lot of the times I'm doing like really, really well, and then sometimes it might hit me to a point where it's like, all right, you know, let me just slow down and kind of deal with this, and or just think about it, or talk about it, or just whatever it is that gets me through it. But yeah, it's just like a continuous thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
How did you prepare for it at the time? You said you kind of knew it was, you know, her health was diminishing over time. How did you prepare at the time? Like, were there specific rituals or things you did or memories you made together that stayed with you?
No, it wasn't really too many rituals or memories or anything like that. I was traveling a lot at the time, so I did make sure that I went home and spent some time with her before she passed away. And then my mom was really the one who was like right by her side the whole time. So she was giving me kind of like blow by blow of everything and just how the situation was going to go. And I just did my best to try to make her as comfortable as possible, you know, for those last couple moments. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you said you're still dealing with it, even though it sounds like you made the most of that time.
Yeah.
And now you're saying you reach out to people and talk about it. Who would you reach out to when you want to talk about something like that?
I would talk to like my Aunt Rachel. We had like, you know, we all just laughed and joked and just had a real good time together. Talk to my mom, talk to my dad, talk to my baby sister about it. I most recently talked to like just one of my other aunties about it, just randomly. Because I feel like we all feel the same and we all have losses and, you know, can relate in certain ways, even though it's not the best thing to be relatable about. But, you know, we feel similar about it. So it's cool to have those conversations and, you know, feel good about it afterwards.
Yeah. I love that you still celebrate her birthday.
These concealers,
That's a beautiful way to think about
I
it.
love them.
Yeah.
Like they're
It's
so
such a hard balance, I
like
find, in
coverage
terms of
for.
mourning
The
and
texture
grieving
is very
someone's
nice.
death,
They're so
and
thick.
then
Like I really
celebrate the
love
life
these
you had.
concealers. Like
And
L'Oreal
it's
really
such a
did
fine
the
line.
thing with these.
And often you're pulled in either direction, but I think it's so important that
Real
we
bad. Like I love
do
those.
celebrate life and memories we had with someone and celebrate their life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at it as like if she was still here, we'd be partying. So let's not stop the party. It's really dope watching Kendrick then and then now, because we all came up together, so we were all doing the same things. We were all speaking to the same crowd. And I've reached a lot of my old goals that I was trying to do, and I reached them by being myself and doing exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. It might not have been what everybody else would have considered was going to take somebody to the top, but it made me feel free.
The podcast is about to get mad good now. They start talking all of that stuff. That means it's about to get really good. I'll be so invested in like people's come up stories. I really love come up stories.
Tap on the side and it's
Because you
recording.
really
No phone
never know
required.
what like a
These
person
smart
went
glasses
through.
save every photo and video directly
Or
on
is
board,
going
and when you're
through.
ready, just connect to your phone and download them. They're sleek,
And the
lightweight,
person
and double as
that has
wireless
that
headphones for your
fire,
phone.
I
You can
love
play
that.
music, answer calls, and still hear your surroundings clearly. And they look like normal sunglasses, so nobody even notices whether you're on vacation, at a concert, or just out and about. It captures life from your perspective. I've never used anything this futuristic that feels so casual to wear.
The phone's so far, I can't even press the button, but I hope it turn off soon.
I was diving into career whiz, and I feel like when someone like you becomes as successful as you've become, and you know is dropping successful hits here and there, you almost forget the journey that they've been on and the graph that they've been on. And I was really fascinated by that because it hasn't just been like a smooth, easy, linear journey. I think people think of success as like you tried something out, it worked, and now you're this, you know, this big phenomenon. And yours had lots of twists and turns. When, like, what was your life like before Black and Yellow compared to what it is now? What was it like before that?
I would say it was pretty normal. Like, it was pretty regular. I was just, you know, like any other 20-something-year-old. I think just the way that we were working and traveling and like going on the road and kind of the money that we were dealing with, a lot of it was getting reinvested back into the business. So I was making money, but I was spending
My
money on
bras is
myself.
crispy
Like not
today.
even in a big way, but it would just be, hotels, travel, things like that. So I was putting myself through like courses in business and how to like, make money, spend money, reinvest, blah blah blah. I was doing all of this stuff naturally, but it wasn't on that level yet because we hadn't met, anybody who was in the game. We hadn't had business managers or anything like that. So it was just, me and my friends, we were kind of just really, really hustling and making the best out of what we knew how to do. Yeah.
I mean, did you feel like a big break was coming, or did it feel like, God, we don't know how this is gonna go?
Well, being that I already had a record deal and then essentially lost that record deal, I didn't feel like a big break was coming. I didn't know what that big break looked or felt like, but I knew that what I was doing was working. And I knew that the people who were into me and the movement that I had created, I knew that that was more popular than, the mainstream and like what was really, really popular at the time. So I was really confident in that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like a big moment was coming or anything.
What's it like to get a record deal and then lose a record deal?
It sucked for me, like, just because in those days, like, if you had a record deal, like, that was it. And then if you didn't have a record deal, like, you were done. So to have one and then lose it is like, oh, there's no bouncing back from that. Like, I never knew anybody who bounced back from that. But in my mind, it was never over. I never counted myself out. I just never knew what the next situation was going to look like or how long or what that time frame was going to be like.
Where did that confidence come from? I love how self-assured you were, that like what you were doing in the community you were building was resonating with what you were doing.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Because I think, like you said, so many people today who might be listening and maybe they just, got kicked out of a job. Maybe they got rejected from their record deal. I remember when I was first coming up with the idea for this podcast
Okay,
6 years
so
ago,
a lot of
I
times
had a production
after
company
I
and
do my
a partner that was going
conceal
to
and
launch
blend
the show with
down,
me. I went away for the
I like to take the
holidays,
rest of my
Christmas holidays,
concealer,
came
like
back,
just to
and
brighten
then I
up
was
in
told that
here
it wasn't on anymore.
to
So I
like
remember that feeling,
give it some
and having
life.
to launch the show on my own.
But
If
it's
someone's going through that
it's
right
not
now,
right
how
now.
did you maintain
So
that
that's good.
composure and that confidence? Like,
About
no,
to
we're doing
set
something
that.
here. We may not know when that break's coming, but we're gonna keep moving.
Yeah, I think it was just by
And I
like
don't know what I'm
standing on
gonna
the
do
things that I
eyeshadow,
believed
but
in and the stuff that made
let's
me most
just
comfortable.
go with the
And
wind.
if I wanted to show it, I was going to show it. If I wanted to talk about it, I was going to talk about it. It might not have been what everybody else would have considered was going to take somebody to the top, but it made me feel free. And I enjoyed myself by doing it. And I think just in turn, a lot of people have fun enjoying watching me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could give your younger self any advice before Black and Yellow came out, what would it be?
I was good. Keep doing what you're doing. You gotta figure it out, fool.
Is there anything you would have liked to have known for how to deal with it afterwards?
Nah. Everything that I learned and that I figured out along my way, I think happened in its time and how it was supposed to, and it's positioning me for even greater points in my life as well. Yeah.
Where does that come from? Because that's such a peaceful thing, and like I said, from the moment you walked in, there's such a peace and ease about you. In an industry where people can get jaded, people can get ruffled, they get flustered. How have you kept that peace and composure for yourself? Like, where's that coming from?
Really, like, just my goals and this shit. I have my own personal goals, and I've reached a lot of my old goals that I was trying to do, and I reached them by being myself and doing exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. So, knowing that that's possible and
Are we
seeing
gonna do
that
eyeshadow
it
today?
doesn't make me want to rush to the next point or the next situation. I'm comfortable waiting for what's
I'm
mine.
thinking I wanna do like
And, just seeing how everything plays out as opposed to, trying to
or
make it
peach.
be
I'm thinking the
somebody else's
peach.
story. Like,
I think I'm gonna
I
do the
feel
peach
like
today.
my whole story and everything as far as my life, if I see it, I wanted it. It's just a matter of time until I get it. So, I'll just wait that amount of time.
Thank you for my super chat.
And, just stay down and just,
That
just
was
be
a dry
very,
kiss,
very,
but
like, have a lot of
thank you.
gratitude for where I'm at and what I've done so far. And even when I was coming up, I was really, really happy with what I had. So the more and more that I started to get, it wasn't because I wasn't happy where I was at and I had to get more. It was just because I was so happy, it just, just kept turning into more and more.
And that right there is what you call gratitude. The powers of it is amazing. You gotta really be thankful for where you at right now, because that's the only way to get more. Let me see what's up with this phone.
So I just keep it like that.
Yeah, there's a beautiful quote that says, when you're grateful for what you have, you'll receive more to be grateful for. And I think it's true that gratitude expands, but it's beautiful hearing you say that. Did you learn that from anyone? Did anyone teach you, mentor you, guide you, or is this an internal thing that's kind of evolved over time?
This is definitely some internal that's evolved over time, and it's like gotten me really, really far dealing with people in business or dealing with the law or dealing with just different personalities in general, as far as like just getting what I want creatively and not, freaking losing my mind and, just being able to talk to people and have clear conversations with an understanding of, what works, what's real and what's not, and what we can make real.
Hey, I'm Jay Shetty, and I wanted to invite you to a brand new interactive no-charge workshop, Renew You, that I'm eager to share with you. Over the years, I've worked with thousands of people across the globe, and I've noticed a common theme. Many of us are feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected. We're going through the motions of life, but not really living. Does that sound familiar? Are you feeling burnt out, uninspired, or like life is just passing by without meaning? Maybe you're struggling to make the impact you know you're capable of, or perhaps you're craving deeper connections with others. If any of this resonates, then I want you to know that change is possible, and it starts with the choices you make today. In this workshop, I'm going to share 5 simple yet powerful steps that can help you reignite your passion, purpose, and joy. These are the same principles that have helped me and countless others reshape our lives from the inside out.
Why is there so much commercials? Like, I want to just hear the podcast.
You will walk away with actionable strategies to revamp your daily routine, find your true purpose, and create meaningful connections. And the best part, this workshop is completely free. These changes don't require massive overhauls. It's about making small intentional shifts that can lead to big results. This workshop is more than just learning. It's about doing. I'll be guiding you through reflections and exercises that will help you start creating the life you've always dreamed of, right here, right now. Go to www.renewuworkshop.com to access this at no charge and start building a life that's not just lived, but truly loved. See you there. What's been the hardest conversation you've ever had to have with someone?
The hardest conversation I've ever had to have with someone. I think the toughest conversations that I have to have are when I have to explain my ideas. Yeah. Because I'm so hyped up about it, like before I verbalize it, and then as soon as I start to say it, I just feel like the level of intensity of it just comes down. I'd rather just do shit sometimes and like just show you and like, but I learned, by working with so many other people how valuable it is to like have a team. So I learned how to be able to express, what I'm thinking and have that go through a whole process, and then we make it real.
That's so true, man.
Yeah.
I feel like that sometimes. Like you can see it in your head.
Yeah.
But then you can't press play on the projector and then it comes out. And so when you're explaining it, everyone's like looking at you like you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are right. Sometimes I do feel we live in a time in an industry where people have heard so many ideas that until you see something, you don't even understand it.
Right.
And I feel like when you look at music or you look at movies or film or TV or whatever it is, when you watch something, you're like, oh, that was amazing. But like someone, when they talked about it, no one wanted to buy it.
Right.
Did you find that record labels and people that you've worked with the music always understood you immediately, or no, you kind of had to go prove and show?
Oh man, they didn't know what to do with me. Like there was no clue what to do with me early on. That's why I lost my first record deal, because when I came in, the song was really good, and it was a sample from a popular song that people, was really recognizable. But after that, it was like, well, what do? Do you make like 5 more of these songs, or like what are we gonna do? And they really didn't understand, like, me being from Pittsburgh, me smoking weed, me being lyrical, me, being a cross between like, really, really hard hip hop culture, but then like really cool, trippy, hippie, skating, you know what I'm saying? Earthy muck too. Like there was no cross between that at the time. Like you really had to be like big white tee, like chain, you know what I'm saying? So like a lot of labels didn't understand what to do with me, and it wasn't until I built my fan base of people who believe the same thing that I believe in, and I was able to travel and do shows, and then they would come and see the show, and they'd be like, these motherfuckers are going crazy over this dude. Like it doesn't matter what we say or what we think is dope. It's obviously
I feel like it's cool.
there. And I feel like that whole format,
but I want someone
has been done a lot, like especially in rock and roll and pop music, where the act will be bigger in real life than they are, you know what I mean, to other people. Like they're bigger in real life than they are like to hype, like as far as the hype goes. Once they started to see that was my situation, and that's when people started to pick up on me.
Was that the way you built this audience that understood you? Was it performing live? Do you feel like that was the significant part for you in creating this amazing connection you have with your audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Performing live, going to a lot of different colleges and festivals before they were as big as they are now, like stuff like South by Southwest, and the really like grassroots underground stuff is like what built us. And we packed into a van and just went on our own tours, just up and down, and just drove ourselves. And then on top of that, YouTube had just came around. So, I was recording myself and putting my vlogs on YouTube. I call it a day-to-day, and I still do these to this day. They're like a compilation vlog of like a week in my life. And I just started doing it because I was like, my life is so crazy. Nobody sees it, and it's so much fun, and there's so much like stuff that goes on. I was like, so I might as well turn it into like, a little 10-minute short.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked a lot. It helped sell a lot of merch. It helped sell a lot of tickets. It helped build a really consistent fan base of people who are still here.
Before you try drastic measures, try new Olay Regenerist. Upgraded with triple collagen peptides.
This eyeshadow, I'm like 50-50 about, but it's alright.
For firmer, lifted, more radiant.
I'm gonna just let it rock out for today.
Only Olay.
The makeup routine shall continue. Y'all can tell who don't have the YouTube Premium, right? That'll be me.
Yeah. Do you remember any of those trips, certain places you went to where something crazy happened that you caught on camera?
Man, it's all on camera, so you can see
Anyone
it.
that stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think like there's really classic episodes. There's like an Australian tour with me and A$AP Rocky. You see like me and J. Cole in his early days. You see me and Currency in our early days. You see a lot of artists. You see me and Kendrick in his early days. You see me with Nipsey Hussle. You see like the whole community of people who we really came up with, who are like OGs in the game now, but there's really classic footage of us when we all just started out. Mac Miller, a lot of people, everybody, man. Everybody who you listen to now was in those day-to-days, like originally.
How did you guys all meet each other back then? Like, how did you connect?
Yeah,
I guess there was no Instagram. Yeah, maybe there was.
No, we would connect through Twitter.
Right.
Yeah, Twitter was the vibe back then. There was no IG. We weren't like DMing each other on there. But we would connect through Twitter, and clothing. And if anybody needed clothes or weed, like we would all hit up the same peoples for clothes, weed, and just vibes and stuff like that. And we just all clicked, and as we started to like take off on different levels, we would just bring each other with us based off of who we, not really liked the most, but who we were closest knit with at the time, or who it made the most sense with.
Yeah. What's it like watching Kendrick then and Kendrick now?
It's really dope watching Kendrick then and then now, because we all came up together, so we were all doing the same things, we were all speaking to the same crowd, and we were at different levels in our career. And I just remember performance-wise, Kendrick would kind of like scream on stage, like he didn't sound like he did on the record, but now he's like one of the best performers, and he's like one of the, you know what I'm saying, the guys really carrying it for our generation. So to see him like just jump up levels and levels and levels through like hard work and branding and just being around the right people at the right times, bringing people along with him like Baby Keem and all of them, like, you know what I'm saying? He's just really doing every move to the T of how you're supposed to do it.
And how's J. Cole evolved as well?
Cole is the same thing. It's like, we all started out just the homies, like trying to get a verse on each other's tapes, and now dudes are like elite rappers up there, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's cool to see him have his own festival. It's cool to see like he doesn't have to do as much work throughout the year, but when he does drop, people pay attention how they're supposed to. He does great tours, and like as a performance artist and as a substance artist, I feel like he has a type of career like that's all you can ask for. Yeah,
that's powerful.
Yeah.
Where does it feel like you were saying there, like in some ways things have changed? Like what's changed for up and coming artists today? Like what are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? How would you advise someone if you were starting out from scratch today again? How would you approach your career differently or in the same way?
I think that there's levels to it. I think that a lot of people aim for like the surface level, where it's like you get one or two things and you're good, and that's what takes you to the top. But usually that works against you, because you'll have that spike, but then you'll go back down and you'll have to go back up again. It's really difficult to have that spike and to have that feeling of validation and like, oh yeah, everybody's with me, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, they're not with you, and you gotta try to do something to get them back on your team. So, a lot of people are gonna wanna go that route, but it has a lot of negatives that come with it on the back end. And it's a really good time for artists to, cultivate a real fan base, whether it be in front of people's eyes or whether it be behind the scenes. It's a really great time to cultivate a fan base of people that understand you, understand your slang and how you dress and what your lifestyle is about, and really push that to the forefront. Let that slowly build, and eventually, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years, you're always making a little bit of progress here, there, and wherever you land at, you're going to permanently be there. I believe the opposite. I think I should sacrifice work for my family.
If Sebastian came up to him and was like, I want to be a rapper too,
yeah,
what would you say to him?
Let's go. Studio's downstairs.
What does your relationship with God look like?
My relationship with God is the shit.
There's a lot of people today who get told, you've only got 12 months, you had your hit, you've got 12 months to make as much money off of you as possible. Like a lot of people hear that, like, hey look, your career is not going to be that long, let's make the most we can. What would you say to someone who feels that fear themselves or gets told that, like, hey look, you had one hit, let's just, crush this beat?
Shout out to Blush and No Blush. Hold on, we got some commercials.
You better get some drugs and start selling them. Use that money, flip it. Nah, get some real estate. Because, like, somebody who only has a year plan in you, and they're like, yo, you're only going to be here for this amount of time. They're going to move on. They're going to find other artists or, different people to represent. and you're gonna be asked out. Like, so any artist or any
Here.
personality who somebody is already talking about, like the limit of the lifespan of their career, they should definitely be worried and not try to race to, you know, do the most in that amount of time, but to try to figure out how to extend that lifespan. So let's take what that person just told you and let's try to figure out, you know, what the next 5 years looks like instead of the, you know, next 12 months.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, definitely.
How far into the future do you look when you're planning music, work, life?
I always try to look at least 5 to 10 years in advance.
Wow.
I'm blend this baby out.
How different is where you are today from where you looked?
I
and where
make
you'd
sure
be
to
5 to 10
blend my
years ago?
concealer out.
I'm doing way
after.
better.
It's just something about
business-wise than
it,
I've
like
ever
when you
done.
blend your concealer
Not
out
just
after,
making money, but
it just
managing
sits
money.
and settles, and it really do
And
what
I
it's
feel like
supposed
I'm
to
getting
do.
better and better at that. And you know, that's what's going to take me, you know, into the future as well. Is not only just, you know, the making of the money, but the money management. Yeah.
What have been your best moves in money management or business that you think people could learn from?
My best moves in business is just being accountable for everything. I think in rap music we get so caught up on the lifestyle. And like, I have to have this, or if it's a new truck, I'm buying that. But me, I'm more like, I'm only gonna spend this much on clothes this month. You know, if I want a new car, I'm gonna wait a year and a half until I get it. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna move money from this account to spend on this, so this is here and that's there, and you know, we can still pay for tour, and you know, how much are we spending on tour, how much are we making off a tour, how much comes in off of merch on top of the other businesses and things like that. But really the money management, like the everyday type of spending where it's like, you know, you could get carried away buying too many clothes, or you know, getting too many nice rooms, or you know what I mean? And I have a lot of luxuries that come with my life, but I could also do without a lot of that stuff too. So the unnecessary stuff and knowing what the stuff that is not really needed, paying attention to that, not letting just those things just slip through the cracks, because they all add up and shit. So I think just being way more conscious of that type of stuff.
Yeah, did you learn that the hard way because you were overspending, or did you learn that because you saw other people before you were overspending?
Luckily, I didn't get to a point where I overspent. I just received large ass amounts of money, and with that comes advice. And you know, so it's like yearly or quarterly, you know, we need to have these conversations where it's like, this is what the money looks like. We had to spend for this because of that, or you know, you had a little bit of fun spending this, so let's just bring it back on this, that, and the other thing. And just throughout time of having those conversations, you start to figure out where the unnecessary spending and the problems come from. Or even if you start to create little different issues, you be like, okay, this isn't really working in our favor, so we need to wiggle out of this. And you know, even if it's spending this big chunk over here, that's going to take away from the continuous
Can't have a crooked
spending that's
nose.
kind of like bleeding and taken
That
away.
nose have to be
So
snatched.
just to learn that and have that visual in my
Literally.
head, you know, while I'm making decisions. A lot of people they feel like they're being controlled if
I'm gonna take
somebody's
my
telling them
foundation
that.
brush.
But for me, it's a
Well,
choice. It's
first
like, do
I'm
you
gonna
want to be
blend
broke
out my
20 years from
concealer,
now,
but I'm gonna
or
do
do
it with
you
my
want to be
foundation
having more
brush,
money
and I'm gonna just
20
kind of
years from
blend
now?
everything
All right, well,
together.
this is how you do it. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good advice, man.
Yeah.
It makes sense, and it's hard to do in the moment because you want to get that thing or you want to buy that thing,
right.
and it applies across the board. What's the dumbest thing you ever bought, and now you look back and go, oh, I thought that was dumb.
When it comes to high school,
He
the
bought him
right
some
fit matters.
cat.
At Gaston Day,
That's why he
students are
lies.
challenged academically,
He's
supported by teachers who know them, and offered
Chopping it
standout opportunities in athletics, fine arts, and leadership.
Man, I don't think it was ever like one dumb thing. I just used to be dumb how I bought stuff. Like, I would see anything and just like it and buy it. It didn't matter how much it cost. If it was a car, I wanted it, I would buy it like right then and there. Sometimes it'd be a watch or something like that. And like a lot of these watches I don't even have no more. So it's like...
You gave them away or sold them?
Sold, gave away, lost. Yeah.
And what was the best investment you've ever made?
It'd probably be like some stocks.
Just a little blush never hurted nobody. I don't be liking to do blush, honestly, because I don't really, I mean, I like blush. I just have a little pushing for it.
That is going to come back in some really good ways.
Yeah, I hope people get inspired by when you talk about how sometimes you got to put off those big purchases, wait a year for that car, because I think when we're young especially, and you come into even a little bit of money, which feels like a lot of money, it's so easy to spend and just get carried away. And especially now, I feel like with all of us just ordering things off of Amazon and everything else, it's like you have no idea how much money you spend.
Oh, for sure.
It's so easy.
It's super easy to look up and, you know, however much just be gone. And when it's gone, it's gone. Yeah. And to me, like I feel like you have to go through that. You have to really feel that and understand it. And whatever, you know, you believe in, I believe in God. So it's like, that's God telling me, like, okay, you spent this much, it's gone. You're going to get more, but you need to deal with the feeling of you having it and it being gone. And then now we'll see what getting more feels like. But some people, when they have it and it's over with, they don't even know what that bounce back feels like or looks like. So, you know, unfortunately, the best way to learn is to go through it.
Yeah,
but,
you're right.
Yeah, but afterwards, like, you know, it's on you after that. Like, you gonna keep doing the same thing over and over, or you gonna learn from, you know, what happened.
Yeah, what is your relationship with God look like?
My relationship with God is the shit. I pray all the time. I thank God all the time. Yeah, a lot of people, there's certain people who don't feel like God is like a higher power or anything like that, but I like to just imagine that my God is just like chilling up in the sky, like with a big deep voice. The sun could be going down and I could be driving and the Hotel California could be on. I'd be like, thank you, God. Like, you know what I mean? Because like the situation just feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does God say to you in God's deep voice?
You're welcome. You're supposed to have this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Has that always been there since you were young, or is that it's come with time as well?
Yeah, definitely since I was a teenager. Definitely since I was like, I can remember, you know, being in like 9th, 10th, no, probably even like 8th grade, just praying every night, thanking God for a wonderful day, asking him to bless everybody that I care for. Yeah, just like really cool stuff, like just normal ass shit that I want the world to feel.
What would you pray for? What else apart from other people?
To be safe.
Guys, I'm really not feeling my eyeshadow. I feel as if it doesn't have enough definition for me. So I think I'm gonna go in as my concealer sits and just like deepen my eyeshadow. Like really give it some depth. I feel like it doesn't have any depth right now.
That's not regular. That's really
and I'm not feeling that. Like I kind of want it to look like a little cut crease, just a little bit.
Man, like the streets is crazy out there. Friends of mine started getting murdered when I was in like 7th grade. Like I remember like one of my first friends getting shot and killed in 7th grade.
Wow. And then when did you leave Pittsburgh?
I came to Pittsburgh permanently when I was in middle school, and I stayed throughout high school. And I probably didn't dip until I was like 23 years old.
Right. Because you moved around a lot growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least as far as I saw.
Yeah, probably like
2 years in Japan.
Yeah, every 2 years I would bounce around. And my mom was always in Pittsburgh, so I would go live with my dad for 2 years, and then I would come back to Pittsburgh. Then I would go live with my dad, and then I would come back to Pittsburgh. So I was in Pittsburgh in 3rd grade, and I was also there for middle school, and then I came back for high school. And then other than that, I lived like in Oklahoma, South Carolina, Japan. Yeah, those were a couple of.
What was your favorite place?
I think Japan was my favorite place.
How old were you when you were in Japan?
I think I'm getting jiggy with this, honestly.
Yeah. What was that like? I mean, Japan at that time, but now I feel like everyone's like, Japan's the place to go.
Yeah, it's cool when you're like exploring Japanese culture, but I just realized like as an
Gonna
adult,
point it
that
out.
shit was kind of fucked up. Because it was like, I'm living on an American base in Japan.
Right.
And like, just the concept of like Americans occupying Japan. It was like, you'd never find a Japanese base in America. But like, we have the audacity to like go over there and just be like, here's our base. We're going to operate as Americans. We're going
I'm
to
getting
send our
jiggy
kids to
with
school
this.
here.
Like, I like the
Don't
way
teach them
that
your
this is more
language.
potent.
Nothing. It's just going to act like America in Japan. So
Wow.
that's
You
yeah.
never learned Japanese.
I learned a little bit of
Okay.
Japanese,
Yeah.
but it was like basic. It wasn't like really any like diving into the culture or anything like
Right,
that.
right.
Like, it's just you live on post and you travel from one base to another base, and that's pretty much what it was.
How do you think that experience impacted you now? Like, how is that childhood experience of moving around, darting around every 2 years, defined who you are today?
It was cool because I was able to just be a regular kid, and I was able to like meet friends and different groups of friends and run around and play and knock on doors and ride bikes and climb hills and stuff like that. So it was super chill, man. It was fun just being normal and not really worrying about too much. I think the older that I got and the more settled that I got in Pittsburgh, that's when I started to like figure out, who I wanted to be later in life. But in those early years, it was just all about like being a kid and just playing with my friends. Yeah.
When you saw all of that around you, what gave you that feeling to dream and to want something more? When you're seeing like the violence around you, you're saying it's a rough neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
What's giving you the ability to go, there's more to life than this?
I think it was just like knowing that I had talent with music. I always did music since I was younger. My uncles and my cousins were older than me. They were like, 15, 16, all the way up to almost like 20 years old. And I was like the baby. I'm 13 years old. So I'm really kind of trying to do what they're doing. But I'm picking the parts that make the most sense for me. So it's like the gang banging and the drug selling and the guns and all that shit. I'm like, that's not really for me. But the looking cool, the having girls, the getting money, the making music, I'm like, I like that part of it. So that's what I
You like
always
that
really
part.
stuck to. Like, just
He
even
was
as a
one
kid,
better life.
like I was just like, I'm gonna just do what I know is cool for me, which is just making music. And that's kind of like what led me on my path.
Yeah. How did you stay away from all of the other things? Because sometimes those can look cool when you're
Yeah.
young. They can be attractive when you're
Yeah,
young. and
I
powerful.
didn't really stay away from it. I had definitely like, the older that I got and the more fun I started to have, I kind of was in and out of that stuff, but it wasn't for me, like it's a lifestyle for some people, and for a lot of those people, like they're still doing it now. And for me, it was just kind of like, being a kid, or like a rite of passage type thing, or it's like product of my environment type stuff, like the little stuff that I would get into is like, I'm here, so I'm getting down. Like, I'm not gonna be the only one who's not down. You grow out of that stuff too.
Yeah.
And you learn from that stuff as well. So I learned from the things that I did do, and I learned from the things I didn't do as well.
Yeah, I mean, now you're a father yourself.
Yeah.
How do you feel looking now from the perspective of being a dad?
Mm-hmm.
You've been a father to Sebastian for a while now.
Right.
And then you just had a daughter, Cadence, I believe. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And like, what's it been like to be a father to Sebastian? And then how is your view of fatherhood changing now that you've had a daughter?
Yeah, it's been really good having Sebastian and having a boy, especially at his age. He's 11 now. And there's just certain instincts that are starting to kick in, where it's like he was a young boy, now he's like a young man, and he's growing into more of a young man every day, really. And just that programming of, life and discipline and being polite and, on top of, just everyday stuff of like handling his emotions with his friends and things like that. It's a really like fun experience going through all of that with him, because I'm able to remember what it was like for me as a kid. So instead of just like telling him the rules and what you should and shouldn't do, it's more like guiding him of, how to, navigate through these situations, which is really, really fun. And I had that with my dad as well. He was always, you know, there for me and talked to me about a lot. And he was way more disciplinary than lenient. And I'm a super lenient parent with my son. But I'm also like really real with him. And he's able to be real with me and he's able to talk to me about, you know, real life things. And when I think about the stuff that I did when I was, you know, coming up, you know, by the time I was his age, I was doing a lot more stuff because, like I said, my uncles and my cousins were older. And I'm just thankful that I was able to have those
I put the
experiences
concealer
and
brushes on
know
the powder.
what's
What's stopping
appropriate,
me?
what's right, and what's not. So I'm able to
Girl.
monitor what goes on with him and what
Girl.
will affect
You
his
stay
behavior
doing
later.
something.
And then just having a baby girl, I think it just adds to it now because I'm able to just give all types of love. Like I got the tough love with my boy, and then I got like just the sweetness of having a daughter, which, you know, helps out a lot.
Yeah. How do you think you're gonna shift your strategy as she grows up?
I think I'm gonna do it pretty much the same. Just like cater to her needs, like whatever she needs. If she's like super girly girl, then we doing, you know, ballet and we doing dance and we doing drama and we doing all the girly stuff. And if she's a tough girl, then we doing kickboxing and we doing whatever else to rough her up. We do horseback riding, we do whatever we want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? The sky's the limit, but, you know, keep her active, keep her entertained, and just cater to her needs.
Yeah. What's Sebastian into right now? Like 11-year-old. What's like his obsession?
He loves basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves to play basketball. He's really just now learning like the fundamentals of it, but he's good at it. He's an athletic kid, and he's like, it's good to see him like roughing around with the boys, like being one of the boys. They talk shit to each other, they get in each other's faces, and like they really get after it. So he's like gravitating towards basketball more than anything.
Nice.
Just that, and just being with his friends, like just being a kid.
Were you ever any good at basketball?
Hell yeah, I could. I never had
He said,
like,
"Don't play with him. I
official
could."
training like what he's going through. But if I did, bro, I'd be so much better than I actually am, and I'm really, really good. So I would be like, I'll be deadly if I knew how to do it, what he's learning right now.
So you could give him some pointers along the way.
Just like naturally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love that. And you never did ballet or anything?
Nah, I never did that. I did like acting classes and shit like that. I was in like speech and drama and all of that shit, but never no dance though.
Did that help, speech and drama classes? How did that?
I think that helped.
Yeah,
I think it helped a lot because it was like, you know, you learn how to project your voice and all of that stuff, and you learn how to like hit cues on stage and, you know, just kind of like get outside of yourself in front of people where you're still yourself, but then you're like outside of yourself. I definitely think that helped for my performance.
Yeah. If Sebastian came up to you and was like, I want to be a rapper too.
Yeah.
What would you say to him?
Let's go. Studio's downstairs.
If you would have told me that I would be the leader of a multi-million-dollar pickleball company, I never would have believed you. Shopify has been an incredible partner, even for someone like me who's not very tech savvy. It's so user-friendly. We just started and we've been able to scale to a multi-million-dollar company. It's surreal to me to wake up every single day and really love what I'm doing. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Now, first, I'm gonna take my Fitme loose powder.
What advice would you have for him to find his voice?
Studio's downstairs.
Just get in there.
get in there, start rapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Would you want that, or you're kind of open to whatever?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, especially the way that I'm implemented in the game. Like I do what I want to do. I'm not like, nobody controls me. Nobody's like working me harder than I need to be worked or anything. So I see the same vision for him, especially in the age that we're in. So it's like, if you're going to be an artist, you're going to be in complete control of everything. So it starts now.
Yeah, the team was saying that you plan a lot of your life around him.
Yeah.
Like they were saying that, like sports games and things like that. Like you've really taken that idea of an artist should be in control of their own life.
Yeah.
Like walk us through that mentality, that mindset.
A lot of people focus so much on their work, and they think like that the work is going to come to an end at some point, or they have to sacrifice things that are important for work. And I believe the opposite. I think I should sacrifice work for my family, and it should just be the other way around because of how much I work and how fortunate I am to be in the situation where I put in a lot of work. I've done a lot of things, so I don't have to, feel this sense of urgency that things aren't gonna go my way if I miss out on something, or if I
Now I'm gonna take
speak up and try to make sure that everything works out how I would rather it work. And I had the point in my life where
I have a skin finisher too that I could put on, but like I really don't want to look shimmery. I want to look really masculine.
A show, fitting,
so I'm gonna just make it all matte.
TV appearance, blah, blah, blah. I would do all of these things back to back to back to back to back. So I've done that already. But now it's more important for me to just wake up, work out, spend time with my family, make sure that he is at his best because he needs to go to practice. He needs to train every day for him to be successful later on in life. And if I'm not there to motivate that, either he's going to get it for somebody else, I don't know who, or it's just not going to happen at all. And that's my job right now, is to make sure that he's successful. So, if I've missed this, or if that doesn't, go the way that it's supposed to, I'm cool with that. Because in the end, he's going to get to be as successful as he needs to be.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
because I feel like there's such a, it's wonderful to hear, because I feel like we're living at a time where there's such a pressure to constantly be relevant, to constantly keep up with what everyone's doing. And now you've got a million platforms to stay relevant on, and everyone's doing this and that. And so it sounds like you've created a healthy detachment between who you are at your work and who you are at home. And that's quite a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I see that better working out long term. Like I said, I look 5-10 years into the future. Right. And me chilling and me and my family seems way more realistic than me ripping and running around still. So I might as well get used to it.
Did you feel your dad was super involved in that way as well? You were saying earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad was super involved with me, especially through my teenage years. A lot of my time that I spent early in the studio was with my dad, because he built a studio, was running it. He didn't know about music, he didn't know about any of that stuff, but I told him I was into it. He built a studio and was like, all right, learn how to use the equipment, start writing songs, put an album out, do this, do that, and I did it all. And he was like, damn, I didn't know you was really going to do it. I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So just through, seeing how important him being involved with what I was passionate about took me to the level that I'm at. It lets me know whatever my son and my daughter are passionate about, I have to experience those things with them. I can't just give them money and provide it for them. I have to actually do it with them. And that's going to make a hell of a difference.
Yeah, how does your dad feel about seeing you now?
My dad loves it, man. He's in awe, all the time. And I think out of everything, he understands how hard I work too. And he's really proud of it. Sometimes he gets a little bit worried. He's like, is this too much? You know what I mean? I know you do a lot. I'm like, no, it's cool. I'm built for this. This is what I do. So he sees how much I work, and he sees how much effort I put in constantly. But he's really proud of me.
And what's something you learned from your mom?
The value of family. Yeah, my mom taught me the value of family. She always kept me around my family members. She kept me around my cousins, my aunts, my granddad. She even keeps me around my dad's side of the family. And they got divorced when I was 2 years old. But she still hangs out with my dad's sisters, my aunts, my cousins, and all that on their side. So she keeps me in touch with them. She keeps my kids in touch with them. She does the whole genealogy of the whole family. My mother is so family oriented, and that like rubbed off on me as well. Yeah.
What's a misconception you think people have about you, if they have one at all?
I don't think at this point there is any misconceptions. I think there's just like learning more about me. I think that the more people learn about me, the more they see like how chill, how educated, how well spoken, and like thought out a lot of things that I do are. And they start to really understand why the people who love me, you know, whether it's my music or I change their life in whatever way, they start to understand like where that comes from.
Yeah. What's something about you that people may not know that you'd like them to understand along those lines?
I think right now I just want people to know, like how you said, like how detached I am from the whole.
Instagram now lets you send automated DMs to new followers instantly. Now, most people are going to use this to just blast links to their products, but I'll be doing something much smarter for myself and our clients. Step 1, we send a genuine thank you message first. Then we ask which of 3 topics this person
Yeah,
is
I noticed
most
a lot
interested
of
in. These can be the top 3
commercials
things
that
that
be
people
on this
tend to
thing.
DM you about. When someone picks one, they're going to get an automatic DM that's going to contain a link to a reel about that specific topic. And that reel includes a call to action to comment. Once they comment, they're going to enter one of your other DM automations naturally. So in just minutes, you can turn followers into buyers by being helpful instead of pushy. If you want to learn more about Follow to DM, just click the link below.
Success world. Like I'm cool with it, but like that's not the goal. And it's not, and a lot of people say like, oh well, you have money so it's easy for you to say that, but I think you just reach certain points in your life where different things are important no matter how much money you have. And you know, some people, I'm 37 years old, some people reach my age and this is the time that they start their business and they're like, I'm gonna go hard and I'm gonna build my empire now. I was just lucky to have got a head start in my 20s, build my empire. And now I really understand, like, you know, how to sustain it and maintain it and keep it going for the next 10, 20 years. And those are the things that I'm really, really working on, along with the music, you know, which is super duper important. But it's really just about, like, making this thing last.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I don't think it's about how much money you do or don't have. I think anything can become a drug, and you can get addicted to it. And I remember, you know, Kevin Hart was sitting in that chair and he was talking about how success became a drug for him. He was just addicted to more and more of it. And so it's easy for you to get addicted and obsessed and just, and you're actually saying, well, actually, I don't want to get addicted to it.
It's my work, it's my job, it's what I'm really, really good at, and I don't never want to give that up for, you know, a normal life or anything like that. But I do value my normal life as much as I value, you know, I value the 30,000 people on stage, but I also value being in my bed alone at night when the lights are off. But I love it.
I appreciate that. I think we need more of that healthy thinking, because I think if you only like one or the other, or if you start to detest one or the other, that's when it starts to get scary. Like a lot of people love being in the audience, they don't like being alone. Or a lot of people are like, oh God, I hate being with the fans now, and I love being alone. And I think both of those can lead to a lot of like pain internally.
You have to work on both. And when you know what you're here for, you know which time is to do which one. I spent a lot of time working on the other side of it, to where I love my job and I love what I do, and I'm very grateful to be able to make the amounts of money doing what I do, but that's not everything to me. I work as hard on my personal life as I do on that side of it. I'm in the you know, if I'm in the studio 12 hours, or if I'm on a plane, you know, 16 hours and I barely get any sleep and I don't eat, and I do promo and I do a great show and I do a meet and greet and I smile and I take everybody's picture, that's all part of the game. That's me going hard to make sure that that part of it lasts. When I'm by myself, I'm waking up, at a decent time. I'm going to sleep at a decent time. I'm working out. I'm spending these certain hours. I do yoga. There's just certain things that go with the process. And then, like you said, planning things around my kids. So it's like I'm making sure that I'm spending this family time where it's not they're getting the short end of the stick off of anything. So I'm working passionately and hard on my normal life the same way that I do in my professional life. And sometimes it takes more energy in the normal life than it does in the professional life.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy to be disciplined at work.
Right.
But to actually show up for your family and be disciplined at home requires a whole other thing.
And a lot of people, they run from that because it's easier to just put all the guilt and responsibility. Oh, I gotta work, it's my job, it's this. It's easy for you to do that. Take some time, you know what I'm saying? Be a little bit nervous, be a little bit uncomfortable, be a little bit bored. But you're not going to be bored if you're around people you love. Like, I'm never bored around my kids. But, be passionate about your normal life as well.
Yeah, it sounds like you have so much order and discipline.
That was
what
I'm
hearing
right
about.
now.
Like, sounds like everything's very structured and organized and intentional.
Yeah.
It's not like this random, like...
Yeah, it's not random at all.
Every day is very regimented.
Yeah, it's definitely regimented. I look at my schedule regularly. I'm updating the schedule regularly. And it just really built to make me happy. Like, I'm cool with everything that I have to do as long as I'm happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if we talk about it and we arrange it and we put it in all the times that it's supposed to be, I'll be really, really happy and I would love to do it. But when things start coming out of left field and you have your idea of what an appropriate time is and we didn't run that by each other, like, that's not going to make me happy to do this. And I'm doing this because I love it.
Yeah, I saw your men's health video with the MMA, which has become your fascination and I guess workout routine for a couple of years now, I feel. Where did that start and how did that come about?
My big homies were getting, and when I say big homies, I mean security. They were getting into MMA and doing jiu-jitsu and just martial arts and just meeting all types of people. And this was like almost 10 years ago, and they were just telling me like, bro, this is the next wave. Like, everybody's about to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. This, that, and other. You gotta get into it. You gotta get into it. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but, I'd rather, like, smoke weed and be in the studio. Like, you know what I'm saying? But as soon as I started working out, I just developed, like, a passion for it, like, out of nowhere. And it didn't make me slow down smoking any. Like, I was able to, like, still get stoned, but I love training and I love working out.
To
I
smoke.
love,
That's
like,
so
learning
crazy.
new things. So
I mean, it isn't crazy, but like he's very like about that. He even have his own
some skills that
strand for people that don't know. I think it's called like
Do you watch as well, or you just like
Khalifa
I watch the
Kush.
shows as well. Yeah, I got a company called PFL that I'm
It's on his
involved
big
with.
one.
I go to their shows I go to their fights all the time. I go to boxing matches, there's wrestling matches, there's jiu-jitsu matches, there's all types of stuff. Combat sports is like, as you've seen, it's grown so much and so many influencers want to do it, and it's just a really good lifelong thing too. Like, it's gotten popular for how much money it makes people and things like that, but as a lifelong practice, like, I would suggest that for any and everybody.
Yeah. If there are men who are watching who want to get into health and fitness, what would be your best advice to them to motivate them, inspire them, let them know how important it's been for you and it could be for them?
I would just try to paint the scenario of you being about late 30s, out with your kid, somebody like is just in your face, and your kid is standing right there, and you only got 30 seconds to prove to your child that you're the protector, or somebody who's finna get whooped. Start working out now.
That's hilarious. I mean, it's funny because my next question was going to be about, like, you know, I feel like masculinity is such a big talking point right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, a lot of men feeling like they've inherited the mistakes made by men in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so men carrying around a lot of judgment, men feeling left behind in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The different things you've talked about today and the way you're organizing your life, like masculinity is a very broad spectrum. It's not just one way.
Right.
And so have you ever thought about that, raising a son for yourself, the message you put out? I feel like rap and hip hop had a version of masculinity before. And that's right. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I've always like
thank you for the super chats, guys. I love y'all so much.
Off of my vision of it, and the most masculine and people that I respect, and just the situations that I look at as what, you know, a man should model themselves as, are usually the most like moderate and mild tempered and just chill and kind of, you know, observant and just guiding the situation. And any way that you can position yourself to be that type of person, I've always felt like that was the more, you know, respectable thing. And we all have feelings and we all have emotions. And that's where like training in combat sports, it helps you like to put all of that stuff in the right place. Because when you get a chance to get that stuff out, you realize where it has a place at and where it doesn't. And a lot of people, they don't have a place to get that stuff out. So they think that they're being masculine by like shouting or yelling or being rude to somebody. But really that should be like the last case scenario. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say protecting your child, because I would never use what I know to hurt anybody unless it was to protect my family or myself. It wouldn't be in any other situation, because to me, like, that's not cool, that's not tough, that's not even what it's for. So I think the idea of masculinity, it just comes from whoever is putting it out at the moment and what they've learned from it. And, you know, the world judges the way that it does based off of their experiences, because they think, you know, the most mean or the most scary or this, that, and the other thing, but they haven't.
And that's the face right there. That right there, that was the layout. I really got up quietly, professionally, seductively, artistically, immaculately, politely. Oh, I forgot that. I thought it was about to hold.
It's tedious, but the harsh chemicals make your shoes get worn out faster. So here's what I use instead. Just put the shoes inside this laundry shoe bag, zip it up and toss it in the washing machine. It has thousands of soft fibers that scrub away even the toughest of stains. It's perfect for all shoe types and sizes. The bag is durable and also protects your washing machine. Shoes come out squeaky clean and they look brand new. No fading, no stretching, and no deformation. Prolong the life of your shoes and grab yours while it's still on sale. Link below.
They show that, but there's not a lot of real situations that people are in that prove that's the right thing. And from my experience, what's proven the most is the most mild, chill, moderate people are the ones that you should probably be like the most worried about.
Yeah.
So the more that you can position yourself in life to have an understanding of your own emotions and be in control of your reactions to things, I think that just makes you more looked at as what people would consider masculine or a leader or a provider or something like that, rather than like an emotional, person.
Yeah, that's a really powerful.
I'm gonna tap it off
Yeah.
with some
You
plumper.
kind of feel the world going through two extremes where it's like masculinity used to be this bravado,
It's called a
chauvinistic,
dangerous
arrogant,
situation.
alpha male type, and then it swung to like being vulnerable and soft and this. And now I kind of feel move it along, knows what to do with everything.
Exactly, because I've seen both, and I've been around, like, growing up in Pittsburgh,
Guys, hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. Okay, guys, I have to go. I love y'all. I'm getting a phone call. I love y'all. I'm getting a phone call. I gotta meet with my homegirl right now, and I thought it was at 7, but it's at 5. I don't even have time to do my hair. I love y'all. I don't even have time to do my hair. I love y'all. I gotta go. Love y'all.